Hello traders, and welcome to Trading the Trend with Strong Week Analysis. I'm Dennis, and this is going to be my weekend report. It is August 8th, late in the evening here in Central Florida, and let's get right to it. Here is my Strong Week ranking I just posted, and here we have ending August 7th, which was Friday. And what we see is the markets consolidating. We have very little space between number 1 and number 6. You're only looking at 64 points difference between the number 1 and number 6. That's a very tight market. So any one of these 6 could be number 1 after Monday. We just don't know. So I'm not looking to trade any of these right now. Now let's go look at some charts. Here we're looking at the Euro US dollar. We're going to look at the weeklies here. And as we can see, the last 2 weeks, there's just been no movement in this pair whatsoever. It's had a little bit of up movement last week, and the week we just finished, a little bit of down movement. But when it was all said and down, it finished right there in the middle. So nothing going on in that pair. Matter of fact, what do I need to see to get me interested in this pair? Let's add a couple horizontal lines. We made a high here, and then we made a low here. And as you can see, we are right in the middle of this trading range. And until we break out of that trading range, whether up or down, I'm going to have very little interest in this pair right now. So we'll put that one on the back burner. And now let's look at the Aussie US dollar. As it loads, there we go. Okay, this one, a little bit of a change of course in this one. The previous week we had a doji, and now we have an up candle. And this is actually a little bit of a morning star pattern. Not a very strong one, but it's still nonetheless a bullish pattern. So we could see price continue to move up next week. The trend is definitely down, and there hasn't really been anything in the news that would cause me to think that this thing is ready to totally reverse. But we could get a counter trend rally that could last for quite a while. We had one back here in April and May that lasted, what do we got about? It lasted 6 weeks, so we don't want to be on the wrong side of the trade if we're going to go through a 6-week move up in this. So I'm going to back away from this one and let price settle out and find a spot where it might want to reverse. Matter of fact, we got a good solid resistant line here, this red line at the 75-75 area. A rejection of that line would be an excellent place to get short. Now let's look at my next one, which is going to be the Euro Aussie. And here we go. Now this one is really turning out great. We've been talking about this entry where we have this double shoulder, head and shoulders formation, shoulder, head, shoulder, double shoulder, and we're seeing price reject the previous shoulder, and this past week we got a nice down candle, and that completes a 3 candle pattern. That is a evening star pattern we see there. So this should continue to move lower. We don't know how much lower, but we'll be watching for a lower move. As I've mentioned before, technically we're still in an up pattern, and we're still rising, and until we can get below, I'd say below this big blue candle here, or even below 145, there's always the possibility that this thing turns around and heads higher. So there is risk if you go short right now. And if you were to go short, where would you put your stop? It'd probably have to go above here. So you'd probably be looking at better than a 500 pip stop right now if you were to go short right here. So it just depends on your risk tolerance. Go short here, with a large wide stop, or you can wait for a little bit of a pullback and a better entry looking at one of the shorter time periods. Now let's look at the current strong week leader, which is the US Swiss. This is a pair that normally trade, and one reason I don't trade it, because look at this big weekly candle we had here, and this 1500 pip move actually happened within about an hour back in early January. And fortunately, I was not trading anything to do with the Swiss franc at that time. If you were on the wrong side of this trade, I mean, that could have wiped out your account. So I'm kind of staying away from that, just because they could make an announcement and you could see another big move like this as prices back everything that it lost on this one candle. So I'm going to just step aside on that one. Now, one that I am more interested in is the US dollar, Canadian dollar. And we'll bring that up here. That is our number 1 and number 7 ranked currencies. And as you can see, we just finished the 7th straight up week, and we're breaking out new highs. So I like the way this setup looks a lot better than messing with the Swiss franc. And if we go out a little bit further, we have a beautiful cup with a handle formation, and broken up through the lip of the cup, and now we're making new highs. And this could run for quite some time if we go out even further. The next real clear area of resistance won't be until we get to 1400. So got a long ways for this thing to move, and we could possibly get all the way up here to 1600. So there's 3,000 pips of movement potential in trading this pair. So this is definitely one I'm watching, and we'll be looking for new entries when I get a good entry signal on a shorter time period. And with that, I'm going to leave it with you. Hope you all have a great rest of your weekend, and watch for me on my thread later on Monday and Tuesday. Thanks a lot.